The job description is what stands between you, the hiring manager, and the perfect candidate. Should they swipe right? Should they swipe left? And what company image do you leave for candidates to remember you by? Will things go well for you, or will you quickly find out that there is no match? In today's workplace, you need to make your product management job description as appealing as possible. But what does it really mean? I hope that you are ready for a to-the-point, tactical, and as practical as it gets product management webinar, because it's review time. Nice to meet you. My name is Maria Cassis, and I'm the founder and general manager of Product League, where we help you to become the best product manager you can be. Product League is an international mentoring program for product managers by product managers, and you are lucky because applications for our winter 2023 batch are now open. In this review webinar, 3 Product League mentors will review actual job descriptions and provide specific feedback and specific tips on how to improve. So you know the drill. Go to the comment section and tell us who you are, where you're from, hit the like button, show us some product love, and let's turn this webinar into our little product party. I hope that you are ready. This is going to be awesome. Let's meet our panelists for today. Let's welcome Madeleine de Berc from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, Associate Product Director at AKQA and Product League Mentor. A true believer in small, cross-functional retained teams, Madeleine utilizes agile design thinking, rapid iteration approaches, and empowering mindset to holistically unlock value while focusing on performance and growth. Hello!
Hey Maria, hey everyone. I'm super happy to be here and discuss review job desk.
Yeah, such an important and valuable topic. We are super excited to have you here with us today to learn from your experience, to know what works best and not so best for you, and just, to talk about product management and job descriptions done right. What do you say? Shall we bring Stas to the floor? Let's do that. Our second panelist for today is Stas Shikhman from Israel, Director of Product Management at IronSource and Product League Mentor. Stas has a strong knack for data-driven process management, strategy, and execution. He is passionate about technology-driven products, and it is in nature for him to thrive in dynamically changing environments requiring focused decision-making.
Hello.
Some will say, hello. Some will say that the best part, the most important part about execution for a product leader is to hire the right way.
Absolutely. Hi, Maria. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here.
The pleasure is mine. I can't wait to learn from you, to interact with you, to see where this discussion will lead us. And what do you say? Shall we bring Lana here?
Absolutely.
Yes. That's a spirit. And now it's time to meet Lana Khimka from Berlin, Germany, product strategy consultant and Product League mentor. Lana is all about product consulting and mentorship. She enjoys talking about the growth, leadership, and product management, and as of today, about hiring product managers through product job descriptions done right. We missed you here.
Hello, I'm so happy to be back. So happy to join this amazing product party with great guests.
Exactly right. Product party indeed. It's going to be much fun. We're going to really establish the right way to start this communication with potential candidates, potential hires, right, for the company, and hopefully the people that will join us on the team. So it's going to be fantastic, and I'm so excited to have you here with us. Lana, shall we bring the guys back, Madeleine and Stas?
Definitely.
Yes. Our second... This was my mistake. I'm sorry. Things are happening today. This is product management at its best. You can never know what comes next. Things are just happening, but we did it. Guys, I am so excited. It's going to be super interesting, super valuable. And we're going to, as I just told Lana, we're going to talk about this first interaction, right? Because this is a user journey, right? We bring people to know more about the team, to know more about the company, to know more about the position, right? So we start a journey with them, and this first interaction, unless they know us from whatever reason from before, is this job description. And as product managers do, we have to tailor this journey the right way to make sure that we give them the best experience. And we don't want to just, talk about, very high level things of how to do job descriptions the right way. We want to be concrete. We want to do things the right way, and we are going to do that with your help, guys. And we're going to start with what we like to call the 10 commandments of product management job description. We are going to name 10 things that we think that everyone here in the audience, and those who are not in the audience as well, should keep in mind when they're going to write and tailor the next job description they're going to write. And I'm going to start with one of my own. And this one is adopt continuous learning. Now, here is the thing. It's not only that we hire for a product management position, we are product managers as well. So we have to treat this job description as a product itself. So what does it mean? Make sure you test, make sure you iterate, and hire like a PM. So go to your team members and ask them for feedback. Ask them for their thoughts about this hiring. This is not one man or one woman show, okay? The whole team is going to work with them. Make sure you do it the right way, and always, always iterate. This is what I have to share with the audience, but I'm sure, Lana, that you have 3 of your own to share with the guys here.
Of course I have. I'm going to start with the first one. That's about always specify the scope of responsibility of product manager, because we are all product managers. We own stuff, right? And it's nice to, from the really beginning, for our candidates to show what they gonna own. So that's the first one. The second, tell in the job description how position is aligned with company strategy. First of all, it creates clarity. Second of all, it creates some excitement. It creates like the feeling of something big. And it in general makes the position sexy, I would say. So don't forget this. And the third one, please don't include basic technologies and tools in the list of skills. It's 2024, 22. Not 24
Almost,
yet.
we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're
Soon
getting
enough.
there. But even in 22, everyone knows what Scrum is. Everyone knows how to use PowerPoint. Just get over it. That's my 3 commandments.
I love all 3. Thank you very much. I agree with all 3. It's not just that I love them. And Stas, I'm sure you have another 3 to add of your own.
Absolutely. So my first one is be smart about the must-haves and the nice-to-have. Meaning, our job is to see the bigger picture of the whole picture. And when we assemble a team, we must be very sharp about the must-have and the nice-to-have of each team member in order to create the full picture. Be specific. The second one, be specific, inbound or outbound. From a past experience, it is a thing for us as product managers. For some, it's more important inbound product management work, outbound, or being able to do both. It might save quite a lot of time and frustration on the or during the recruitment process. And the third one, and most important in my opinion, out of my 3, is make the role description direct, clear, and specific. If the candidates cannot understand what they're applying for, it's a waste of their time and our time.
Absolutely. It's just like a product, right? If we're designing an interface where no one understands how to use it, well, we fail in our job. And you said it the right way. It's not just that we're wasting their time, we're wasting our time as well. So many resources that are going to waste because we just, didn't manage to communicate the right way. Very interesting. Thank you very much. Last but definitely not least, Madeleine.
Yeah, so mine are actually going to relate a lot to what Lana and Stas said, which is a good sign, I guess. The first one is to relate to what Stas just said is give examples, because it can all be very theoretical, but then when you read a job desk, maybe when you write it, you're sure about what you're depicting, but when you read it, it's good to have specific examples of what the job actually is. My second one is to explain how the role fits into the overall structure of the company. So not only how it fits into, relating to what Lana said earlier, not only how it fits with the overall strategy, but also how it fits within the overall organization. And my last one is keep it short. Because you only have...
We are all here with you. Just for the case you haven't noticed our faces, we are all here with you right now, Madeleine. Yes.
Yeah, because it's the same thing when you read CVs, right? Like, you don't have a lot of time by CV. Well, the candidate is not going to spend a lot of time on your offer. So if it's too long, they're just going to skip over and not apply. And you're going to miss out on a lot of great candidates just because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love all 10. You guys did a fantastic job opening this session the right way, right? Because we already have 10 commandments for the audience to follow. And in case you guys want your bosses or managers or hiring managers or future hiring managers to know these commandments as well, just send them a link to this session so they could join us even now and learn how to do things the right way. Now, this session is called Review because we are going to, wait for it, review actual job descriptions. We are going to start right now, and we are going to start with the holy grail of product management jobs or descriptions. I know that many companies out there, when they do this sin of copy pasting job description, they just go to Google, they check for what these guys are posting online, they just copy it and they put their company names on it. This is a fact. I know a few companies that do so. This is the wrong way to write a job description, for in case this was not obvious from the way I described that. So we're going to start with Google. We're going to look at the way they structure this job description, and we're going to dive deep into it to see what we think. So they start with minimum qualifications, then preferred qualifications, about the job, responsibilities, and that's it. It's about 2 pages long. And Stas, let us know, what do you think about this job description?
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, this is a great company and a really great and detailed job description. For me, as a candidate, it's a bit, might consider applying for Google. It's as if I want to apply first to the company and then for the role, meaning hitting just at the start with the minimum qualification, preferred qualification, might be in terms of the recruiter side, let's say, efficient, okay, but I'm not sure it will lead for the best candidates, because if a candidate, his first step that he takes during his journey for the next venture, and I'm talking again from my perspective, is first thing whether I qualify for this position, and then if I'm interested in this position, if this product is interests me, might bring not the correct audience at first, if I may.
You definitely may. Okay, you can be more direct here. I can see you trying to find your ways. That's fine.
I'm sorry.
We love all companies out there. We just want to make sure that everyone writes the best job description possible.
Right. So for me, and for the candidates that I look for, it's very important to see whether they connect to the product, whether they want to grow in the product, and then we'll see if they qualifies for it. And I would like also to do that in the same swim line in how I present the stuff. I mean, this is my perspective.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
other than that, I think it's a great balance between the minimum qualification, the preferred qualification, the must-have, and the nice-to-haves for that matter. And obviously, it's Google. Their name stands stands for itself. So about the company, about the job, in my opinion, it's other than self-explanatory, it's still written pretty good and direct. In terms of the, should I continue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all listening.
Yeah. If we scroll a bit down, sure I can see that on the screen. We have a bit vague description of the product. I know privacy sandbox. It's rather new product in the industry for who's coming from the industry and knows a bit more about that. But still, it's very, in my opinion, it's very vague on what the product is about. What I'm going to do as a product manager. Whether I will be.
Not only it's vague, it's only 3 sentences long. Actually, like 2.5.
Yep, absolutely. And it's practically at the bottom of the about the job. As a product manager, will play an important role shaping the future of advertising on Android and Chrome. Okay, that's on one hand, that's huge. On the other hand, it's not a senior position. It's a product manager position, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do as a product manager there. So besides being part of an amazing company on my resume, I'm not sure what I will be doing there.
Yeah.
And it drives me a bit off as a candidate, as a possible candidate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also have to mention that actually in Google, simply product manager, it's actually a big deal. This is what other companies may consider as sometimes VP of product, okay? The qualifications, the level of experience expected of people is extremely high just for getting a product manager title. So I completely agree with you on that part. Do you have anything to add? Any other thoughts, something that you want to share with the audience?
Looking at my notes, no, actually that's about it.
That's okay. May I disagree with you on your feedback or review of this job description?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's make it interesting, you're saying. I cannot stand this job description. All the wording here, all the responsibilities they mention, all the about the job, everything that they mention is simply product management. Minimum qualifications, except for the degree or equivalent practical experience they mention, experience working with cross-functional teams. Yep, that's what a product manager does. Experience with driving elements of the product development life cycle. Again, this is what we do every day. Experience with technical product management. Okay, this one I can get. What else? Experience building online advertising products actually or operating system. This is actually where we're starting to get a little more information about this specific job. Ability to represent business or technical matters internally and externally. Again, this is what product manager does. And preferred qualifications as excellent verbal and written communication skills. First, I'm not sure that I will list this one as the least important one, okay, if we're talking about prioritization. But also, this is very basic. Like, this is what every product manager does. This is what we do. So they don't tell me about qualifications, either preferred or minimum one, in a way that I can learn more about this job, because I completely agree with you that in terms of understanding, on even imagining, like before you go on the job interview, or the hiring manager is calling you for having a first chat or whatever, you want to imagine yourself, working at the company. So instead of knowing, as you said, that you're going to work for a very well-known, much appreciated company such as Google, you don't really know what is it that expected for you there. And I think they lost me on that one, because like I expected more of them. I just expected more. Lana, I can see you're smiling, so I'm eager to learn. What do you think?
No, I think I agree with your criticism in some way, yeah, because it's not really clear what exactly I'm going to do there. But what I also noticed, and it's a nice comparison with the next position that we are going to review, is a tone of voice, because the job description also a place where you can kind of share your values as a company. And here the tone of voice feels, to me at least, a bit off, which is like required qualifications. You need to do that. It doesn't feel like some inclusion and I don't know, just like being nice to people, I would say.
They're not
And it's
friendly
nice,
enough. I get it. They're not
and
friendly
it's really
enough.
nice. It's really nice contrast with the next position that we're going to review. I'm going to show it there.
Yeah, can't wait. Thank you very much for this input. Madeleine, do you have anything to add on this job description?
The only thing I wanted to add was regarding the very first thing you said, Stas, that this job desk starts with the requirements for the role. I think starting with the requirement for the role or the qualifications for the role would be wrong in many cases if you don't know the company or you don't know what they do. I think in the case of Google, everyone kind of knows what they do, or should. Hopefully, as a product manager, you should know what they do. And I think you kind of get straight into it. They don't explain the specific product that you're going to work on, but I don't think they should explain what Google is as a first thing, right? Because everyone kind of knows what Google is. So I think them starting with this kind of hits it off in terms of efficiency for the candidate, but also for the recruiter.
This is very interesting, because in my opinion, actually nobody knows what Google does, because there are so many products included there. Like so many products. They have products for publisher and for journalists and for the weather people. They have so many things. But this is what's so nice about these sessions, right? Because everyone brings their own point of view and their own experience, and we couldn't ask for more. This is fantastic. Stas, thank you very much for bringing your thoughts about this job description. And Lana, I hope that you are ready, because we are back with you. This one is by Zalando. It's the position of head of product fulfillment and planning and execution. And I know that you have some things to share with us, so go ahead.
Yeah, so as I already mentioned, it the whole tone, if you're going to read through it, it feels really different. It says in the title, all genders. I think it's law in Germany, but still. And then they have the whole section about inclusion and diversity. They don't call qualifications. They call it why you should be interested. And I think the next section is, we would love to meet you if. That's how they call qualifications. So it's a really, I think, modern way of communicating to candidates, where it's not like we Google and we're choosing you. It's more like we are happy to have you, more like this. But in general,
we're happy to partner with you. Yeah,
exactly. And in general, this is the head of role, so that's a bit more senior than what we saw previously. And stakes supposed to be high, right? Because it has you have to get a good candidate or a good person on the leadership role, because it has so much impact. And I just wanted to briefly look at 3 sections: the overview, the requirements, and the skills. And if we start, I prepared small materials here. If we start with this first section, basically that's like, I actually really like that they start with it, because the goal when you just open, like when the candidate opens the job description, your goal as someone who writes it, to sell it, to basically make them excited to read through, to give them, like, make them excited to actually apply. So that's what Zalando is trying to do here. And as well, they are a big company, not as big as Google, but everyone knows them, at least in Europe. So they don't spend too much time explaining what is Zalando, but still they need to sell the role, right? And here you can see that the role is in fulfillment, and it's kind of head of product. And for me, it doesn't like sound sexy enough, because like when you hear like internal tool, fulfillment, that sounds not really exciting, but it is exciting, right? Like, because it's like, it's working with data, it's like tweaking,
It's
and doing some
execution is its
optimization,
best.
algorithms, optimization. Like, there are like people, me included, who are like super obsessed with this type of work. So I think they could like find some like nice ways to make it like sound more exciting. But I think like people who are really excited about, they're gonna see through the lines, right? And other things that I would expect to be covered in this section is the impact of the role. That's another thing, right? That kind of make you excited about it. And they're doing this well. I highlighted that they kind of link it to strategy. They position it really well, like where the team is. So they put some numbers, millions of orders. So you can feel, okay, that's an impactful role. And then the third that I would expect here, and it was part of my commandment, is the level and the scope of responsibilities. This is like something that we already discussed. It's really difficult to understand. And to be honest, I find it still difficult to understand. Here, they kind of tried, right? So for example, it's interesting, like in the job info here on the right, they have this reports to director. So you understand a bit like in hierarchy. For the big company, like they have like many levels, so it's not like really, it gives you much information. But in a small, like a startup, if you report to CEO or you report to lead, you can feel the difference. So that's a good start to kind of show the level of responsibility. They tell me that there's a team size, but it's like less than 5. 0 is less than 5, so I'm not sure what it actually means. It feels like they tried, but it doesn't give me confidence that there is a team to manage, actually, as a head of product, for example.
This is really good. This is a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like,
and you know, 4 differ from 2, right? Also, do I have 4 people to manage, or 2 people to manage, or 1 person to manage?
Yeah, and that's like, it's a nice thing to have, but it's confusing in the end, like for this specific role, right? So others I have a bit more clear. And then right here in the middle, it's a head of product in you will shape product that ensures the optimal. And that's basically how they describe the responsibility. And I saw that in the Google, it's the same shape. Like what does it mean? Just like what am I going to be responsible for? So the responsibilities, the scope is not clear for me. So I think, okay, I'm going to give them a chance, and I'm going to scroll to responsibilities, right? They call it why you should be interested. And the goal of the section in general, in every job description, is just to set expectations for the role. Kind of, because like, of course, product manager, head of product, any product role in every company is a completely different thing. So it's really important to explain what it actually means here. And here we see again that we're going to shape and drive. That sounds exciting. But ideally, the questions that you, the person who writes this job description, should answer is, what are the direct responsibilities of this role? And it's nice to use phrases like responsible for, like responsible for strategy, responsible for certain business outcome. If it's not responsible, it's also nice to mention like a concrete, like really specific words, like take ownership, lead initiative, lead team with 5 direct reports. If it's not about responsibility, contribute to strategy, then it's clear. You're not driving strategy, you're not responsible for it, you're not shaping. Someone else decides, but you're contributing. So kind of more concrete statements would be nice, because ideally this is a reflection of then the actual position description. When you're hired, when they do some performance review, they should use the same list of your responsibilities. They can make it a bit like nicer here. And from here again, I see that I'm going to do many things related to strategy, but then also define initiatives, identify opportunities to optimize something. So it's like from really high to really nitty-gritty details. So it feels like they're not sure. And that means for me, a big question.
If they're not sure, how can I be sure that I'm the right person for this job?
Yeah, and the biggest question, again, because it's Stas' head, do I have any, like a real team, like these people reporting to me, or no? We cannot find the answer here, unfortunately. But let's move to the next section. And it's, we would love to meet you if, which is the expectations and qualifications. And the goal of this section is to describe who fits for this role and also who doesn't fit, right? So, and this is like super interesting, because if you're going to read this description, every product manager is going to fit this role. You understand the needs of customers. Of course I do. You're analytical, enthusiastic. Of course I do. It's just like, it really describes literally any product person I know. And also it's like, so it's like, it's quite, it's not fact-based. As a person, it's subjective, right? Am I enthusiastic? Well, I guess, yeah, or not. I don't know. You know how to build trustful relationships. It's really
I love this point. I love this point.
Yeah.
I don't know how can we advise people to challenge that and to measure these soft skills. But I think that as a community, we should definitely strive towards that, because as you said, it's super subjective.
And I think, like in general, like in the Google example, they did a better job, like specifying at least. I mean, it's still really broad, but at least more concrete of the qualifications. Here, like first of all, is like really generic. So it would be nice to state clearly the level of maturity and leadership experience. You had experience leading a team of 5 people. Or like you created or like led initiatives from problem statement to launch, cross-functional, something like gives like a concrete examples of what did you do, what they expect you.
A checklist, yeah, a clear checklist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also some experience, like so if we need something concrete about the type of product that you work with, stage of a product. It's a big difference between, I mean, I know that there's a kind of a holy war between, there's a difference between B2B and B2C. I'm on the side that I think it's a big difference as a product manager if you work with B2B product, with B2C product. It's big difference if you work with MVP stage startup or like scaling some big organization. So it's also nice to explain this here. I think like for this position, that's about scaling, optimization, but I have to guess it. And the most important, and it's like the last point of my review, is to really add differentiation. As a product managers, we always talk about USP of our product. This is the product, and we need to give some USP, just like what, like some, like something to choose, like, right? Do you need a visionary person or problem solver? Because it's different profiles. Do you need someone creative or with attention to details? Do you need someone, like, it's crazy. They don't even say, do you need like experience with UI interfaces, usability, or algorithms, artificial intelligence, I don't know, some data technology stuff. Nothing is here. So basically every person can apply and take their chance.
I love what you just said. I love everything you mentioned, but I love what you said because it kind of gets us the feeling that they don't know who is the persona, right?
Yeah,
like
persona, that's
now
good, yeah.
Now they are designing a job description, which is to some degree a product, right? In this case, and they don't really understand who is the persona that fits this job, this actual job on the day. So it goes back to what we said earlier, by the way, I think it was on Google, of like, help us understanding what is expected of us. How is it going to look like? Madeleine, you said, give us concrete examples, right? Was it you? Am I mistaken? It was you. Okay. Okay. So give us concrete examples so we understand. And I just love what you said. And I want, before we continue with you guys, and we want to hear from you, what are your thoughts about this job description, to show you what one of the viewers here, Yoni Harris, is saying. I have never seen a product job description that actually depicts what we as product managers do. They all PMs need to do everything from product research, roadmap, customer interaction, and user stories, and what else. This might be right for the first PM in a company, but usually not accurate for larger teams. Spot on. Thank you very much for that, Yoni. And Stas and Madeleine, I'm sure you have what to add on this job description. Let us know, what are your thoughts?
Right. Can I jump in? Right.
Go
First
ahead.
of all, make the role description direct, clear, and specific. This does not meet those requirements. It's long. If we can scroll from top to bottom, it's super long with tons and tons of links outside of the job description. And I think the one thing that a bit shook me here is one of the requirements is to stay calm in times of uncertainty.
I'm looking for it. I want to see it.
It's actually the third from the bottom of the yeah. You have to stay calm in times of uncertainty or ambiguous priorities and support teams to gain focus again. In fact, uncertainty is your product management canvas. What does that
what
even
can
mean?
one say?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They left us speechless. Yeah. Yep. That's the right way, guys. We should do nothing but just look at the screen and say, what? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that it's I think it's a very fluffy job desk. But on the one hand, I think they do a good job of showing inclusivity, showing the advantages, showing why you should join Zalando. And I think that they do an amazing job of, but maybe they do a bit too much about that. And that's why it's like super long and links out to a lot of things. Maybe it's a bit overwhelming at this point in the process. But on the other hand, yeah, it's a bit fluffy. Like everything is very long and fluffy.
You feel like you want to partner with them, just as you said, Madeleine. Like you feel included. You feel like they're so friendly. But then it's like, what is it exactly that we are partnering on?
Yeah.
Like, I want to understand what is exactly happening there, and this is missing, guys. This was perfect. Thank you very much. And before we are moving on to the next thing, I want to show you something, because we ran a poll on our LinkedIn page asking what is the biggest sin when it comes to product management job description. And I don't think you're going to be surprised, because 52% of the audience choose buzzwords with no meaning as the biggest sin of all. Okay, when they tell us something using words that actually don't say a thing and we don't really understand what is it they're trying to, what is the message they're trying to convey. Then the second, with 33%, is generic copy paste descriptions. Usually, this is what happens in startups when they don't have a person that can actually find the time or whatever it is to invest in writing this job description. They, for whatever reason, tend to do copy paste generic descriptions, and 15% of the audience, 15 of the percent of the viewers out there chose inaccurate job description as the biggest sin. This is very surprising to me because it actually says that it's okay if we don't understand you. It's not okay, but we can forgive you for not being for not being accurate. But this is much worse if you're using buzzwords or if you're just use generic boring descriptions out there. And this is for a very good reason, and this was very interesting to find out. So thank you for everyone who took part in this poll. And now we are looking at another job description. This one is of senior product manager at The Economist. They have a section for skills and experience, another one for about the role, responsibilities. The ideal skills for these roles are a little bit about location, company benefits, and interview process. And Madeleine, I can't wait to hear from you what your thoughts are about this one.
Yeah, so my third commandment was keep it short. Obviously, that's not the case. This looks more like an Economist article about economy than a job desk. So that's probably it's probably a good fit with the company. But this is like way too long. One of the ways it's too long is there's a lot of repetitions. They repeat a lot some of the specs of the jobs, but also some of the qualifications needed, and it's not very well structured. So you will find some of the specs of the job in the intro, but also in the specs of the job, but also in the qualifications. It's all a bit mixed up, basically, and they repeat themselves a lot. There is a huge part about what the Economist is, but it still doesn't really tell you what the product that you'll be working on is. It's still not very clear. What's good is that they do talk about the North Star. So this, I think, is very precious, and how your job would link to the overall Economist. What's also good is that they do talk about the specs around logistics and remuneration. So I think out of the 3 job descriptions just seen, this is the only one that specifies a specific remuneration bracket. So I think it's good. Transparency is always good. And then the last thing that's really good is that they do mention who you'll be working with. They mention the team of designer, UX, engineers. So that kind of gives you already, you can picture yourself in the company. However, what they do not mention is your role within the overall organization. So who you're reporting to, what team you're part of, who's like how your team reports to like the overall the Economist product team. That's not clear, and so they don't specify. They don't explain very well the product you'll be working on. They don't specify the scope of what you'll be working on that product, and they don't specify how your role links into the other roles. And I think this is for me the biggest things that are lacking. Then talking about skills, I think it's the same as with Lana and Stas reviews. The skills are super broad, could be applied to any of the job desks that we've just seen. So it's you're a builder, you're a communicator, you're curious, like any product manager needs to be. The only thing that they do specify is that the platform is already built, so you need to be able to kind of learn very quickly to be able to work on the platform that they've already built. So that gives you a little bit of context on the product, but they don't really specify what technologies it's been built with. Nothing too specific, basically. So yeah, again, it's too long, not specific enough, and poorly. The architecture of the overall thing is pretty poor. What I think they should have done instead is give a quick product intro, give skills and qualifications, 10 max, ordered by priority, so maybe minimum qualifications and like nice to haves. And then maybe responsibility is the same. So responsibilities, 10 max, giving examples, and then maybe a sense of what are the tasks that you're going to do that are going to take most of your time, and then what are the tasks you're going to do like once a month or something like that. So because if you have 10 tasks, is it that you're going to do the first 3 like every day and then the top 2 like the last 2 every month? Then it's a very different thing from you're going to do all of the tasks every day. So that's it. I think we've lost something.
Yeah, I think Moira is going to join us quite soon. I just wanted to add, unfortunately, we don't have it on the screen right now, but it actually, like in the description, when they explained the role, they gave me some clear understanding about responsibilities. And they basically write here, with me, just me quickly find it here. Not the responsibility, sorry, the level of, like the scope of responsibilities, because basically they just write that as a senior product manager, you will help define and build the roadmap. You will participate in development new strategy. Develop a product roadmap. So basically that communicates to me that I'm gonna, as a senior product owner, have no ownership over any area. I'm gonna help everywhere, but not really have any small piece of product where actually the owner, where can actually make decisions, have objective, which is more like a business objective. So that's on one side, it's good that they wrote it. So at least now I understand, for example, if I'm really senior product manager and expecting like a lot of responsibility, that I'm probably not going to apply, or at least I'm going to have it in mind. But also, that's not ideal, I think, for the senior role. And then also, if we read, they also included our North Star, which I think would demand is more like a vision of the company. And it's really fluffy. I'm just like trying to find a good word for this.
Yeah.
We will be the indispensable source of news, ideas, connections for the world's most. As a product manager, when I see this, I think like, oh.
Yeah.
And I would have to take this and figure out what kind of product I need to build. That would also give me a bit of concerns regarding this role.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Stas.
Also, in terms of responsibilities, again, I've been more expecting for a senior position for product manager a bit more than creating appropriate documentation, showing, writing excellent user stories. It's again, where's the spice for the job? What can I bring as a candidate, as a senior product manager, besides writing a good user story? I mean, it's I don't want to say the meaning or not aligned with the seniority of the role or the headline, but again, I'm looking for the strategy. I'm looking for what impact I can make on the product. What part of the product I will be responsible for. General part is it the whole the media part? Again, Economist it's a big media portal eventually.
It's definitely a place people want to work, I think. What I really like, and I'm interested about your opinion about this description, they actually included the price, the salary range in the description. I find it helpful, again, to understand the actual seniority, right? And then it's kind of gives the value of transparency, and I like it.
Yeah, completely. That was also, that was one of my points, that they give the salary bracket. I think is super important. Also because just from an efficiency point of view, you don't want to lose time applying to something that doesn't fit your expectations. But also as an interviewer, you don't want to spend time talking for half an hour with someone that's not going to take the job because they're not happy with the salary. So it just makes everyone's lives easier, I guess.
Exactly. I'm feeling that like now we're discussing and we're just like saying, okay, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is like wrong in these positions. But I think like, because like we are looking also at such a big companies, for them, like even all these issues that we discuss, it's not a problem. People are going to apply to them, right? So it's more like for, if you're a smaller company, then it becomes really problematic, because like when a person has a choice to apply to Google or to your small startup, and they have limited time, right? And they probably gonna like they gonna choose based on brand. So it's nice to really stand out with some kind of unique description of the role.
Yeah, but even if you're a big brand that everyone knows, for instance, The Economist, to your point earlier, even like, for instance, I would love to work for The Economist at one point in my life, right? But if I don't understand what this job is about, I might apply and then be super disappointed within the process. And so that's my time lost, and that's The Economist time lost, and that's everyone time lost, right? So I think like they do, even those big brands, that everyone, like, they don't need to convince for the brand, but they need to convince for the role, or at least they need to make sure they target the right people and they don't like attract people that will be eventually disappointed of the role, you know? It's such high cost for those companies as well.
Exactly.
I'm just here listening, guys, because you're doing a great job. You don't even need me here. You're doing a fantastic job, and I'm scrolling down back to The Economist so we can take a look. I'm sure that I missed some very interesting points that you guys mentioned. I'm sure. I trust you to do an amazing job. So thank you for that. And I will have to watch the recording myself to learn from you guys and to understand what is it that you mentioned. I just want to add two things of my own. I don't know if you guys have the opportunity to discuss them, so you guys will tell me. First, did you notice that the platform that they are using for posting the job, saying here the name of the talent acquisition business partner, okay, Jeffrey, and then typically responds within weeks on the first second that you look at this job description, okay? So for whatever reason, this platform, I can understand why, but still it's a little bit strange, right? They're telling you how long does it take for the other person on the other side, right, to respond, and here is within weeks, which I don't think makes the company to be so I don't know, product sexy, or a place that we want to work at. And the last thing, I think that you guys discussed it, this is my assumption. Where is it? What happens here? Wait 1 second. Okay, the interview process of the 3-stage process, did you have the chance to discuss that?
No.
Okay, so I don't know what your thoughts on this one, guys, are, but I actually love the fact that they are telling us what is the process that the candidate should expect. The only thing is, this is not something to keep for the end, right? Keep it up front, okay? Maybe not the first thing to mention, but one of the very first things to mention, because this is super, super interesting. And I will make it even more interesting. Instead of saying 3-stage process, if you can tell us, first step is this way, then you're going to have, I don't know, like a meeting with whomever at the company. So something that gives us more understanding. That's it. I think you guys shared a lot about this job position. So thank you very much, Madeleine, and everyone else who contributed to this discussion. You did a fantastic job, guys. You don't even need me here. And we're going to spend just 1 more minute discussing another job description. This one is from Notion, product manager of the mobile apps, and I'm going to do it very, very fast here. So one of the things that I love very much about this job description is the fact that they mentioned that who is going to use your product, about the role, this both individual consumers and large enterprises. Actually, you talked about that before, Lana. You said B2C and B2B are very different. Here they're telling you we need a person that can understand both mindsets.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, there are different churches here. Should we expect a person to understand both B2B and B2C? I'm not taking any sides here, but the fact they are stating it, okay, for us viewers to understand that this position is about both, this one is really interesting and really good on my in my decision and thought. Then when they are talking about the role, they say this person will help us make Notion's mobile apps functional, fast, and fun to use. Now, this is product manager's language. Like, these people know language. They know how to talk about this stuff, and they tell us that they start with prioritizing the functional. Then the second most important one is fast, and last is fun. Now, for some of you, you may recognize this theme of thinking because we had this very nice poster, our swag poster, saying it, product management tip number 35, make it valuable, then easy, then fast, then pretty, then scalable, product like. So absolutely, we agree with Notion on this one. Make it work fast. I love the fact that they're talking our language here. They also talk about what you will achieve and saying that it includes prioritization and trade-offs. They really know the job, okay? Because let's be honest, big portion of what we do, okay, is about trade-off and about prioritization. So actually stating that instead of the very generic, product management descriptions of you'll take a part in new initiative or help leading the roadmap or something like that. They actually tell us you'll deal with trade-offs and you'll deal with prioritization. Until here, these are things that I love about this description. But then, here we start. Skills you'll need to bring, okay? Then all of a sudden, they talk about consumer mobile products. But wait a second. You're asking me to have specific experience in consumer mobile products, but you're telling me that I need to know both B2B and B2C. How about giving a place for someone with strong UX experience within the B2B domain? So like, you're talking about your product being both B2B oriented and B2C oriented, but all of a sudden you're focused on B2C, which I get why, right? Because we tend to think that this is where we focus more on user experience, and I understand why. But yet I don't feel comfortable with that. And then when they talk again about the skills that you need to bring, they say you have experience using both quantitative data and qualitative data. This is so plain and boring. This is like what everyone says. Like what a product manager does, you use numbers and you use intuition and some knowledge about psychology, right? Like, come on, guys. You managed to build such an awesome product and you fail within this stupid thing, which I cannot really understand. Then the nice to have are a computer science background or equivalent technical experience. Guys, seriously, it's almost 2023. We don't need just techie people in the office, okay? What about some background in psychology, background in design? I don't know. We're the cool guys, okay? It's not just about developers turn into product managers. Pardon all developers in the audience. I have nothing against my people, okay? But yet we need more ways of thinking included in our teams. So this is a little shame, and I understand that they want to make their mobile app into a faster one, right? But still, I don't know. I don't think this is too old school for me. Let's say it this way. And if we read this whole paragraph, this list of the three things in the nice to have, we move, like they shift us from thinking about Notion as a really super cool company that want to build something very cool and focuses about the people and really, really want to partner with us, into we just want to hire developers who are turned into product managers. Okay, this is I don't know, really too old school for me. I don't think this is relevant these days. And they are looking for someone who has experience as a startup, right? They want someone who understands the rhythm of working in a startup. And this is more than cool. And this is great. I don't think that this is something that should be included as the last nice to have bullet, because actually, this is a big deal. If you're looking for someone who knows to strive in organizational structure such as a startup, this is the kind of persona that you need to convey in order to save time for everyone involved, as you guys wisely said before. Now, tell me, what do you think about this one?
I actually almost disagree. Like I understand, like with what you said about like
bring it on. I love that.
Yeah, making this persona a bit like really narrow. Yeah, I think that's maybe not inclusive enough, but I think they're not a big team, right? And it feels like they have quite a strong team culture, and they know what kind of people they're looking for, and they describe it here really well. I'm not sure if they're going to benefit more from a more diverse team. Maybe when they grow, maybe not. We don't know. But at least they know what they want and they explain it. And I also really
completely agree with you on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like that also through the job description, you can get a feeling of values of the company, and not just like what we see here, but that it's so specific, clean, no fluffy words, no long paragraphs, except like those, I think, like law restricted stuff. But like the previous slide that you showed, it was like really plain, easy to read. It's the same as Notion product, and you can clearly see that's okay. That's the values that they as a company want to show. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. This is a really good one. It's just I expected a little bit more from them. Like they open really well, and then it's like all the way down. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Lana. Thank you very much, Stas and Madeleine. What do you guys have to add?
Yeah, actually, I agree a lot with Lana. For me, this is, in my opinion, the best out of what we've seen today, the best job description. And regarding the nice to haves, in my opinion, it discloses about, and again, I agree a lot with Lana about it, it discloses a lot about the culture. And we can see it especially in a sort of a riddle. If you've heard about computing pioneers such as, then, and why we friend of their work, this is our thing. But hey, on the other hand, I'm an ex-engineer or computer developer geek, so I can relate to that much.
So you definitely fit the persona. That's why.
might be I might be a bit biased here, but again, it's short, it's straightforward about what I need to do, what the skills I need to bring, and the nice to haves discloses a bit about the culture to feel. I mean, they will not disqualify me again. It's a nice to have, but I will get the taste about what the culture is there, and they're trying to put it. Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with you, Stas. Thank you very much, Madeleine.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I think it's the best so far. I really like what you'll achieve. Those are real like action words. You'll guide the prioritization. You'll rethink. You'll improve. So you understand that this is about optimization. I think it's the clearest one of them all. So props to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. I had an amazing time having you on our stage and discussing job descriptions with you. How was it for you?
Pretty fun.
Fun, it's
Much
good.
fun.
Fun, it's good. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. From Berlin, Germany, this was Lana, Khimka, product strategy consultant and product league mentor. From Israel, Stas Shikhman, director of product management at Iron Source and product league mentor. From Amsterdam, the Netherlands, Madeleine de Berc, associate product director at AKQA and product league mentor. I am Maria Cassis. This is Product League. This amazing, dedicated, resourceful product managers. This is the league. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching us. We can't wait to support you in becoming the best PM you can be. Applications for our winter 2023 batch are now open, so everyone in the audience have the chance to be a product leader, either a mentor or a mentee, and we can't wait for you guys to join us. So go league it up. Have a fantastic day. And again, thank you all leaguers who are watching us. And thank you, our dear panelists, mentors here for sharing your know-how with us. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.